Hi, and welcome to the Cozy Self-Discovery Podcast. Join me, Jenny, for some cozy chats about self-discovery and how discovering who you are can change your life like it's changed mine. Grab a drink and a blanket or whatever makes you feel nice and cozy, and let's get started. Hello, and welcome to the Cozy Self-Discovery Podcast. I'm Jenny, and this is a podcast about self-discovery, but it's like a cozy version. I want you to just hang out with me while we chat. And I am going to share with you some anecdotes and stories from my own life and some actual wisdom and information about the self-discovery process, the tools of self-discovery that are available to everyone and anyone who is interested in making substantial changes in their lives through this process. It can be daunting when you are first starting. I totally understand that. And so if you are someone who maybe you are pretty happy with your life, but you feel like there is just more to you that could be uncovered, that could be explored, that you could be working on in order to help guide yourself toward just a little bit more authenticity in the way that you live your daily life, the things you do, the relationships you have, the goals and purpose that you set out before you in life. Self-discovery is something that everyone can utilize in order to come to a better understanding of who they're meant to be, who they are at their core, and how all of the things that you've gone through and the experiences that you've had in your life have helped contribute to a version of yourself that may not be entirely authentic to you. So many of us are living these lives out in the world where we're going through motions and we're checking things off of an imaginary checklist that somebody created out there. And we think we're doing the right things. We think we are living the way that we're supposed to live. We are really concerned with making other people happy and with looking like a certain type of person who is living a certain type of life. But underneath it, I think a lot of us can feel when there's something off there. We can feel when it's not quite right. It's not quite in alignment. There are things that you are maybe not even really being honest with yourself about, but you just don't want to face it or deal with it because it's difficult. It is. It's difficult. It's hard. Sometimes it's really hard. Sometimes it can lead us to discoveries and realizations that are extremely uncomfortable to deal with. And sometimes those things can push us to making major changes in our lives, changes that maybe not everyone around us will understand or support. And it can be a really scary process. I understand that because I've been through it. And I wanted to provide a place where we could talk about this stuff on a little bit more of a relaxed level. That's why we're the Cozy Self-Discovery Podcast over here. I don't want to lecture and stand here and say, this is what you need to do in order to self-actualize. This is what you need to do in order to be the truest and most beautiful version of yourself. This is what I did, and this is what's going to help you. Because we are all individual. We are all these beautiful, unique mosaics of experiences and biology and something else, which is the spirit or the spark of, who you really are inside, your inner self, however you like to understand that. We are all so complex and beautiful and different. And there is a huge industry out there in personal development land where a lot of people like to give a lot of advice and prescriptions for how other people should be living their lives and what they should be doing in order to achieve the same results as whoever. And one of the things about self-discovery that I think is so magical is that it really helps you dive into your own individuality and discover what works for you and what doesn't, what feels good for you and what doesn't, what is in alignment and what isn't. And you may be shocked to discover that a lot of those things may not be what the gurus and the girlies on YouTube who talk about productivity and all of this stuff are telling you that you need to do or who you need to be in order to be quote unquote successful or happy or abundant or wealthy or fit into whatever box you think you're supposed to be sitting in, right? I love using self-discovery and the tools of self-discovery in order to further expand my knowledge and understanding about myself and how I am built and how I am made and how the experiences that I've had in life have contributed to who I am as a person, my tendencies, my likes, my dislikes, my patterns, the things that keep coming back time and time again that sometimes hinder my life and sometimes help my life. And by further understanding and knowing myself, I can make changes appropriately. I can redirect myself into directions that are better for me. I can make changes and decisions that are more informed and more in alignment with who I actually know myself to be and are less concerned with pleasing other people or fitting into some box. And so this podcast is going to be about that. We're going to talk about jumping into self-discovery, who might be at a place in their life where self-discovery can really be a help to them, where maybe they really need this. They need to go through this. They need to go through this process. Or maybe you're someone who's been in it for a while and you're ready to get to the next level and really see those changes manifest in your life in a positive way to help you springboard into a much better reality for yourself. And we're also going to talk about what my life has been like and things that have happened to me that can help these lessons sink in of how going through the process can actually help you. So yeah, we're going to have some cozy chats here. Some of them might be a little bit intimate into my life just because that is how I am able to guide and to help is through demonstration and talking about the benefits that this has had for me, So again, I'm Jenny and I really hope that you are excited to join me to have some cozy chats about self-discovery. And a little bit about me, if you want to understand my background. I am 42 years old. I am a mother. I have an 8-year-old son. And I am from the Northeast of America. I grew up in New York State. And I was married for 12 years. I was a military spouse for 12 years. And at 38 years old, my marriage ended and my husband and I separated. And this was the springboard for me to make some major changes in my life. I know, and I will never try to minimize the painful process of separation or divorce or, transformation that can come when the way that you've been living your life has to end. It's a hard process. It's hard. Change is hard, but in my case, I view that happening as the biggest blessing in my life. I view it as the turning point. I was living a life that I thought I was happy enough with, but looking back, I was not very happy for a very long time, and I had really lost myself. I had gotten to a place where I didn't even know who I was anymore for the most part. I was living to be that spouse and that mother, and I was not living for me. So after my divorce, I had this beautiful opportunity to rediscover who I was and to decide how I was going to live going forward, what I was going to hold on to, and what I was going to let go of from my old life. And fast forward almost 5 years now, and I really dove into that process. I welcomed and chose to change for the better and to use my divorce as a springboard and an opportunity to make significant positive change in my life. But I knew that I couldn't do that without first better understanding who I was and what I wanted and what made me happy. And I think at its core, that's what self-discovery is. If you can't answer those questions, who are you? What do you want? What makes you happy? Without having to think about it too hard, without feeling like what you want to say wouldn't make people around you happy in your life, wouldn't be acceptable to them. If you feel like what you're saying isn't actually true, like it doesn't actually resonate in your body as being true, you're saying things that are not actually aligned with what you know to be true on the inside, then you're at a place where you need some self-discovery. You need some personal growth work. You need some mindset work. You need to do some digging. There was a while, I went to grad school when I was 30, and I studied anthropology. I have this very insatiable curiosity about the world and mankind. And so I decided to study anthropology, and I became an archaeologist through that process. And I worked as an archaeologist for about 5 years. And so I love to make archaeology references when I'm talking about self-discovery. So that's something you may hear a little bit here and there. It's going to come back because this process really is about excavation. It's about digging and excavating the layers off and shedding those layers, the layers of society and your past and whatever else has come along and covered up who you are at your core. And you got to excavate that person back out. You've got to bring them back out into the sunlight. And so that's, in a nutshell, what I've been doing with my life the last couple of years. I have also been, living and working and single mothering and all of those things and trying to devise a path and a future for myself that I think will truly be satisfying and full of joy and fulfillment and passion, because now I am much more in tune with what those things are at my core and who I am and what about me fits the unique way that I am supposed to move through the world. What things don't fit anymore, I need to be able to recognize them so that I can deliberately put them down, discard them, say goodbye with love. Thank you for whatever purpose you've had in my life, but it's time to put you away and to move on toward these better things. And so I have a lot to talk about. I love self-discovery. I love this process. I love talking about it. And I love researching. There are so many different aspects of self-discovery to delve into. There are the various tools available in order to help you on your self-discovery journey. There's resources that you can use as a part of this journey. There's research. There's practices. We're going to talk about it all. So yeah, I just wanted to give a brief intro to the podcast, what you can expect, who I am, why I am here, and invite you to join me. I hope to post somewhat regularly, so if you are in, and I hope that you are, please subscribe, and I will see you again real soon. Remember to bring your tea, or your coffee, or your cocoa, and a blanket, and we'll chat again soon. Thanks for listening.